If you want to take social media seriously, you have to stop thinking about yourself as a content creator or an influencer and start viewing yourself and calling yourself a founder of a business and view your social media profiles as your business. And every single post that you post on social media is a product launch of your business. Today, we are kicking off a new series on how to take social media seriously. I hear this phrase all the time from people I work with, from myself. I used to say this all the time. My friends, people I know in real life, people I've met with in my coaching. I hear this phrase all the time. How to take social media seriously. I'm ready to take TikTok seriously, YouTube seriously, my podcast seriously. 2025 is the year I take social media seriously. We're going to get serious today then, because we're kicking off today a new 4-part series. If you are somebody who says you want to take social media seriously, you are ready to hear what I'm about to say. If you are somebody who wants to have fun on social media, post to your friends, post your blogs, your hauls, you get ready with me, just for fun, that is a gorgeous way to live, truly. And it's actually a really nice way to treat social media. But I'm assuming if you are somebody who says you want to take social media seriously, you are somebody who wants to make social media something that you make money from, you want to make it a business, you want to actually take it to the next level of something that either is your full-time job or part-time job, or you want to really view social media as a business. So today is episode 1 of how to take social media seriously. Today, we're going to be unpacking the internal shift that you need to make as a person who posts on social media. Throughout the series, we're also going to be unpacking the actions and behaviors and things you need to stop and start doing, what you need to shift and change in your content on social media to take it seriously, the way you need to view social media very differently. I'm also going to be calling out the top reasons I think people are not growing on social media who say they want to take it seriously and why you are saying that, but it's not actually happening. I'm going to call out my biggest mistakes, what I still catch myself doing to this day, and also just what I've observed over the years. I've worked in marketing and influencer marketing and social media for over 10 years. I've worked with over 500 content creators and influencers one-on-one. I'm a full-time content creator myself. I have so many friends that are full-time creators, some with millions of followers. I did social media for about 3 years, posting vlogs, posting on Instagram, on TikTok a little bit, on YouTube. But there are things that I did about 2 years ago that made such a shift that took my social media from being something that I did on the side of my 9-to-5 job that I made $1,000 to $2,000 a month from, to really taking my social media to becoming this multi-6-figure business that I have full-time employees. And I feel like I'm truly living the dream every single day, doing this podcast full-time and being a full-time content creator. This series is for people who have gotten started on social media, they have their foot in the door, and they're ready to take it to the next level and take it seriously and really treat it like a business. So I'm so excited for this series. Let's get into it. Episode 1 of how to take social media seriously. When thinking about growing your brand and your business and taking social media seriously, one of the most important parts that a lot of creators and entrepreneurs miss is protecting your personal assets by registering for an LLC. An LLC separates your personal assets from your business assets, which is such an important step to take as a creator and as an entrepreneur. And that is where our sponsor today comes in at Taylor Brands. I'm so excited they're sponsoring this video. They are so amazing and they make launching and managing your business so seamless. They do such an amazing job of guiding you through LLC formation and offering so many tools that help you from day one. Taylor Brands is a business builder. It isn't just about getting your LLC. It's about setting you and your business up for long-term success. You'll be able to unlock a free personalized business plan, business coaching, legal documents, and even bookkeeping tools all in one place. As a content creator, which we will talk about today, it is so important to treat your online brand as a real business, and Taylor Brands helps you do just that in such a stress-free and easy way. If you're ready to grow your social media while building a legitimate business, check out the link in the description and the pinned comment to get started with Taylor Brands today, and you'll get 35% off all LLC plans. Let them handle the business setup so you can focus on creating and building your brand. And thank you so much to Taylor Brands for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into the episode. I have 8 shifts that we need to make collectively, you need to make if you want to take social media seriously. And before we get into those, the first thing you need to do is you need to decide when you are going to take social media seriously, are you going to take it seriously as an influencer or as a content creator? This is a step people skip past all the time. Social media has evolved so much over the years. There are so many ways that you can treat social media seriously and treat it like a business and make money from social media, whether you're an influencer like Alex Earl, like Emily Kaiser, Monet McMichael. You're somebody who posts a lot of inward focused content about your life, vlogs, things like that. Or do you want to be more of a content creator? Someone who gives advice and tips and guides, a lot of outward focused content. I would consider myself more of a content creator than an influencer. And this is not to say you can't do a bit of both, you can. But something that will help you so much is just picking one and really stepping into it. Do you deep down being so for real with yourself. I have met, and we're going to talk about a lot of this in this video, but I have met with countless people, and people I've met in real life as well, who want to do social media, and they say that they want to do something, like they're like, I think I'm going to talk about confidence tips, advice for young women, or I think I'm going to do more like vlogs and things like that. But that's not what they actually want to do. That's what they think they're supposed to do. Because if you're somebody who's sitting down and making YouTube videos being like, here's my tips, but deep down you just want to be a fashion content creator, the energy in those videos is going to come off as if it's something deep down you're not fully passionate about and committed to do. So don't create content you like the idea of or you think you're supposed to do. Make a decision before we get into it. Do you want to be deep down, if you said anything right now and you knew it would happen, do you want to be more of an influencer or more of a content creator on social media? Pick one and roll with it. And whatever you pick, you can evolve and pivot and evolve with your own brand. But I think if you are not 100% clear of which one you are, your audience isn't clear either. And the energy in your content is off. So that's just step number one, influencer or content creator. Okay, so the first shift you need to make if you want to take social media seriously is you need to stop viewing your content in the way that you approach social media as a content creator, as an influencer. And you need to start viewing yourself as a founder of a business, and your social media profile, your Instagram, your TikTok, your YouTube, your podcast, that is your business. And everyone says treat social media like a business, like take it seriously. This is what they're talking about. Is if you owned a skincare brand, for example, when you put out a product like a cleanser or a toner or a moisturizer, would you just put out random products that you kind of feel like putting out? You think, I'm kind of in the mood to do this. No, as a founder, you would put out products that you think your audience really would like. You think about, okay, what does my audience struggle with? Is it more acne prone skin, dry skin? Okay, so I'm going to put out products that help solve those problems because that's what we stand for. You think about your brand values. Maybe one of your values of the brand is being very affordable. So you put up affordable skincare. Like you'd put up products with your audience 100% fully in mind rather than thinking about what do I feel like doing. And this is so nuanced as somebody where social media is your business because it is probably the most personal business you could start because you are the front of the camera. You are the business. But I want you to claim your role. Like as the CEO, as the founder of this business, you're taking it seriously. You're like, okay, this is no longer what I just feel like doing all the time. I am viewing social media differently than other people view it because this is something I actually want to make money off of. Therefore, it is a business. And the beautiful thing about social media is a lot of those things can be pulled together, what you feel like doing and your business can mesh, but we're going to talk about that. Because I think one of the top reasons people, and the top mistakes people make is that they say they want to take social media seriously. They want to be a full-time content creator, make money from it, make a business from it, but they don't act that way because they don't identify that way. Everything in life, like besides content creation, every goal that you have starts with your identity and how you view yourself. Your identity needs to be, I am the founder, I am a CEO, I own and run a business that is my social media. And why do people start businesses? They start businesses to solve problems. They don't start businesses to just make money. Well, some people do, but good businesses start because they want to solve problems. They have a mission, they have a vision. That is why we talk all the time over here about all of that, because that is why people start businesses. And if you're somebody who wants to take social media seriously and make it a business, that is how you need to view your social media. You started it and you post and you do it to solve a problem with a clear brand, with a clear target audience, the exact same way you would treat a skincare brand if you owned it. This brings us to point number 2, because you are not 2 feet in to your brand. You're not taking social media fully seriously because you don't know what your business is. You don't know what your brand is. And people who are watching you don't know either. And if you're somebody you're thinking, okay, no, I actually do know like what I want to do. I know what topics I want to talk about. I got all that figured out. I know what my thing is. So you can skip to the next point. Sometimes you just need to decide. You just need to give yourself permission to be like, I am going to be known as the person who is the go-to person for women in their 20s in post-grad to get career tips. Or I'm just going to decide to be that person in LA who is known for being a podcaster and like sharing my journey, growing a podcast, giving podcast tips. Like that's my thing. That's my business. That's like what I do. Because when you ask Mel Robbins, Grace Beverly what they do, they have a 1-sentence line of what they do, why they do it, who it's for. You probably can't do that about your content because you're not viewing yourself as a founder. You're thinking, okay, I create content. I'm an influencer. I post on social media, sometimes about this. You need to stop waiting for someone to come tell you what your brand and business on social media should be, and you need to decide what it is right now. My biggest piece of advice for you is just to decide and feel cringy and feel that imposter syndrome being that person. Like a personal story is that when you probably know this if you listen to the show, but I started out doing content creation in like 2019, 2020, doing corporate advice. Like that was my thing. I loved giving corporate advice, corporate tips, resume tips, how to negotiate your salary. I shared my life as a 9-to-5 marketing person. And eventually I felt like I evolved and kind of grew out of that brand because we're human beings and we allow ourselves to grow in our personal life, but we don't like take our content with us. And sometimes what you started doing, you don't relate to anymore, or you just don't feel in alignment with like what you're posting now, but you don't rebrand, you don't pivot, you don't try anything else because you don't want people to think that you're like rebranding again or like whatever, people's opinions. But you also are having this imposter syndrome of like, okay, maybe I want to give advice on this or like lean fully into being a fashion influencer or lean fully into giving like social media tips, but you feel like, but that's not for me. Like that's what other people do. Like I can't do that. And you feel like you're waiting until you're going to wait till some point where you feel ready, but you won't. Like you will never hit that point where you're like, okay, actually now I feel like I have enough credentials or enough reason internally to do the thing I want to do. The only way you will feel confident talking about the things you want to do is when you do it and feel uncomfortable doing it. Cringe, and we have a whole video on this, but cringe is just getting out of your comfort zone. It's just a side effect of doing something you don't feel 100% comfy doing. And if you're somebody who you're thinking, okay, I have no idea like what I want my thing to be. I don't know what I want to do on social media. That's okay. Maybe you're very multi-passionate. There's a lot of different things you're passionate about. I am that way too. I'm gonna be so for real with you because if we were like out for coffee, this is what I would say. I also have many other things that I am passionate about as a person. If you watch the vlog from last week, you will see other elements of my life. Like I am 28. I'm just got married. I love so deeply like pop culture, fashion, beauty. I'm passionate about fitness. I love working out. But probably my biggest passion in life is marketing, content creation, social media, mental health through an entrepreneurship, building your vision, building your business. That is something I'm so passionate about, but it doesn't mean that I don't have all these other things that I'm really passionate about, things that I love to talk about. I talk about Alyssa every week at this point, but she has this quote of niche down within yourself, which I love. And I don't believe that you should have one niche. I feel like you should build a brand instead of a niche, which I'm going to do a whole video on later. But when I was posting my corporate content, I was in my early 20s. I knew deep down, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of getting over this. I don't even work corporate anymore. I really just want to talk about social media and marketing. It's what I've done forever. I just have never done it publicly on social media. I've always worked with clients and different things. I think I had like 2,000 followers and I started posting on TikTok, social media advice. I started talking a little about content creation. I brought in my corporate experience into the influencer world. I had been posting on TikTok for about a year. I had a few thousand followers. The second I just stepped in and thought, okay, I have like 2,000 followers, but I'm just going to start talking about all this stuff because I feel like I know it so well. And the way that people are talking about this, I know I can talk about it in a better way. I got comments of people being like, you have 2,000 followers. Like, why would we listen to what you're saying? We don't care. You've worked in marketing for 8 years. Like, you don't have any followers. But I thought, no, like I want to build a business about social media and content. Like it's what I love. It's what I know. And I know that the way I talk about it is different than other people. And I kept doing it. I grew 100,000 followers in 1 year after doing that. But if I had first of all waited until I felt ready and like I had the credentials to do it, I never would have done it because you can't get there, especially with this world, without doing it. But also if I have kind of got stuck in this mindset of like, ugh, but there's so many different things I want to talk about. I want to talk about pop culture and fashion and beauty and working out and like all these things, my brand would have been muddled and confused because again, you start a business about solving one specific problem, and the business of being an influencer is a separate thing, which we're going to talk about. And I think sometimes people think, okay, but I want to be an influencer, like I want to be a lifestyle influencer like Emily Kaiser, and Emily Kaiser posts whatever she wants. No, she doesn't. And Alex Earl does not post whatever she wants. Alex Earl and Emily Kaiser are perfect examples. Monet McMichael as well, who I love. Perfect examples of people who are influencers with such a specific brand. They have specific topics that they talk about. Let's take all these influencers that you might look at and think, oh, I just want to do that. I just want to post whatever I feel like. They have specific content pillars. They have specific buckets of content that they talk about that are lifestyle pillars. So for example, Emily Kaiser, probably one of her content pillars, I don't know if she's this rigid. She does like Aaron's vlogs, morning vlogs. She does hair videos. Sometimes she does get ready with me. Like she has specific buckets of content that she does. Same with Alex Earl. Like she does get ready with me, get dressed with me. She does a few vlogs as well. Like they have specific content pillars. And I feel like sometimes from the outside looking in, you're thinking, oh, but they just like post whatever they want. They don't post whatever they want. Some people do. I would say it's actually quite rare. So with all this being said, one of the best ways to take social media seriously is just decide and step in to being the founder of a business on social media and decide what that business is going to be. Decide the topics you want to talk about. Just decide that is your thing. If you don't know what it is, just pick something and go with it, because that is the only way you're going to figure it out. You have to pivot and try. It is so hard, and it's something people don't talk about. It is so hard when you're starting out on social media and you do something and you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna have to rebrand and pivot and try again. I have burnt down and rebuilt my brand and business so many times, both on the business side, the entrepreneur side of Busy Blooming, but also on my personal social media. It's really, really hard. That is probably the hardest part, but you just have to push through the mess and fail and pivot until you land. So just decide. Who is your target audience? What problems are you going to solve? What are your taglines going to be? And just build it and stop waiting for it to be built or someone else to build it. Give yourself the permission. Okay, this brings us to our next shift, which is, again, this is quite a different way to view social media. If you want to take social media seriously, you need to stop thinking about yourself, and you need to stop letting your emotions run your business on your social media. I'm laughing because this is like the biggest mistake I made. This is where the business of social media and content and influencing is different than like a product-based business. Because first of all, social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, these platforms, they were not created to start businesses. They did not create these so entrepreneurs could become influencers 10 years later. These platforms were created to be social. It's social media. And you probably created an Instagram account in high school to socialize with your friends and post your life. And sometimes we don't even realize I actually have not fully made the mental switch. Like, I have not fully switched into thinking, no, this is a business. I'm still kind of treating this like social media. And another piece is something I'm so passionate about and believe so deeply is that social media becomes a magical thing when you can make money off of doing something that you're passionate about, and you can make a business off of things that make you happy talking about and creating, making money off vlogging your life, or making money off sharing your outfits, sharing your thoughts, sharing your advice, things like that. That feeling of being in alignment, which we're going to talk about, being aligned. You feel like, okay, no, this is like flowing. I have so many ideas. It's so easy. But if you really want to take social media seriously, you need to put your audience above what you feel like posting. When you think about your content for the week and your why and your mission, I see people all the time. They'll be like, I'm going to take social media seriously. My why for social media is to make money doing what I love. Like, that is not a why or a mission for social media. Your mission and your why should have nothing to do with you at all. If you or somebody wants to take social media seriously, your why, your mission, the reason you post shouldn't be about making money or making your dream job. That is just like a given that will come. That's okay to have that goal. Of course, everybody has that goal. But the reason and the motivation behind what you create, what you post, isn't to make money or build your dream life. It's to help somebody in your business, because that's why you started your business. And again, you might be thinking, okay, Tess, this like literally goes against everything you've ever said, because you always talk about being in alignment and being happy and like not having resistance. Like, I know, but I'm talking to a niche group of people right now. I'm talking to the people who want to make this a business and take this seriously. And just because you're thinking about your audience doesn't mean you're posting content you don't like or content that's out of alignment or things like that, because the business you build, the topics, the brand you've built should be something that you're deeply and naturally passionate about. Some people give this advice, which I don't like this advice. It's like, post 80% of your content for your audience, 20% of your content for you. No, your 100% of your content should be for your audience. And again, just because you're posting content with your audience in mind doesn't mean it's content you hate, you don't like, you don't enjoy. You're posting content that is like on brand for the business and the brand that you've built. And I have a tip, because if you're thinking, okay, I don't like, this is getting too rigid for me, this is what I do, is I have certain accounts that I view as my business accounts. So for example, and these have actually changed going to 2025. So for example, I'm like, okay, my business is I want to help people build their vision on social media and feel confident doing it and not get burnt out along the way, and give people the tools and resources and mindset that they need to build their business through social media. So my business on social media is my YouTube channel, this podcast as well, on Spotify. And in the past, it was always my TikTok as well. My whole TikTok was that mission. That's why I posted on TikTok. This year, that's actually not the case. My Instagram this year is like, okay, I'm going to extend this podcast into my Instagram. I want my Instagram to also be a business that helps helps people with those things. But this is where the advice comes in, is have one profile that is just more for fun and maybe it sprinkles of your business, but you can post things like in all your other interests, more personal things. Then you have an outlet for those things. And that for me this year is my TikTok. I just posted the most random video about Storm, my husband. It went so beyond viral. That's like a whole other subject we need to unpack. I post videos about pop culture takes and get ready with me and like get dressed with me. I sprinkle in pieces of my business, but that TikTok account generally is just for fun. And then I have my business accounts, which is my Instagram, my YouTube, my podcast. In my opinion, if you want to treat social media seriously, that is a better way to approach social media, is to have business accounts that like your business is your Instagram, your business is your YouTube, and those businesses have target audiences, they have a brand, they have a mission. You post content for the people that follow you, and then maybe you have a different account or a different profile that's like for fun, your outlet, because then you're keeping your business focused. Okay, this next mental shift means so much to me, and I wish someone could have told me this 2 years ago. Stop obsessing so much with being in alignment all the time with content creation and give yourself a little bit of a push through resistance. This quite literally goes against everything I stand for. I'm so against hustle culture and burnout and sacrificing your mental health. That is not what I'm saying, but I'm gonna be so for real. I went through a period a couple of years ago where I was extremely burnt out, like physically sick. I was working 14-hour days for years in a row with no break. And then when I got out of that, I learned a lot about alignment and just like totally changed the way I view everything. But I actually found myself when I came out of that experience, spent years of healing and evolving and reprogramming my mind. I found myself as a content creator, as an entrepreneur, being so deeply obsessed with like never feeling resistance ever. Every time I'd sit down to like vlog at the time or like create something on Instagram or TikTok, I at all felt resistance. I'd be like, no, I'm dropping it. I'm not doing it. Like I need to rest. I need to recharge. And this is actually something I still find myself doing, that I'm like, okay, I can push through a little bit. And I know it's our minds, right? Like our mind keeps us safe. And this is similar when you're trying to rebrand or pivot or you feel cringe. The reason you feel cringe or imposter syndrome, like you don't want to do something, is because it is unfamiliar and your mind is trying to keep you safe and it doesn't want you to feel uncomfortable. So it's like, okay, I have alarm bells going off because you're uncomfortable, and that makes you not want to go for big goals and do things that scare you. But it's kind of similar actually to being in alignment and resistance. So this is not for people if you struggle with hustle culture, burnout, all of that. Like focus on being in alignment. Like don't push through. Take a step back. But if you're somebody who can relate to what I'm saying, and this is something I really check myself in all the time, is that it is okay to push through a little bit and just post the content. And I'm not saying post random stuff for the sake of posting. I'm saying post like on brand good stuff, but challenge yourself to just be like, okay, actually, you know what? I got this. Like I can sit down and film that YouTube video. Even if I'm feeling a little bit off, I'm going to have a coffee and just do it. Or if you're not feeling like super inspired or anything, but you don't feel like stressed or burnt out or tired, or your nervous system's regulated, you're sleeping really well, but you're thinking like, oh, I'm just not really like inspired, but you're not stressed. Just push through a little bit. Film something, post something. I feel like sometimes with social media, we don't take it seriously enough because we're obsessed so much with like being inspired and aligned and motivated. And sometimes you just need to decide to push through a little bit, have your extra coffee, push through and post something. Again, never to the point of burnout. Do not get burnt out. Do not sacrifice your mental health. Nothing is more important than you as a person and feeling good and feeling happy. You deserve to be happy and rested and feel your best. You have unlimited time to post on social media. Take 2 months off if you need it. Like take what you need. But if you're somebody who is anything like me and you've gone through all that and you've healed from all that, don't get yourself caught up so much in being in alignment all the time, and like just push through a little bit. Okay, the last shift you need to make is probably the most difficult and something that took me years and years and years to do, but it's detaching your ego and your value from numbers and performance, so much so that you are not afraid to throw something out that won't work. This, I think, has happened for me quite naturally after just years of growing on social media and posting on social media. But so much of the reason we don't take social media seriously or build a business from it is because our value and your value as a person with the performance of your social media is too connected. And social media and content creation is that deep. It is so deep to me. But don't let that get in your own way so you're not trying stuff. If you want to take social media seriously, you need to view it as like it's actually not that deep if you post something and it doesn't work. If you're following the strategy we're all doing right now, the Q1, hard launching your 1 million era, testing and trying in the first quarter of the year, that's what I'm doing right now as well. I have thrown so much shit at the wall recently. I've been trying posting these episodes like Thursday at 11 p.m. to see if that has an effect on the performance. On Sundays, on Tuesdays, 10-minute videos, 30-minute videos, series. Like on Instagram, I've tried carousels, reels, green screens, talking to cameras. That behavior from me on social media is something I would never have done like 3 years ago. I was obsessed with the numbers. I would post a work week of my life, a vlog, and I would just stare at the analytics all day. The days after posting it, like, okay, it has 1,002 views. My video last week had like 900 views at this time. But again, this is your business. You're testing, you're trying, you're launching products, you're trying different things, and simplify content a little bit and just simplify it. Just try stuff. Last night, I'm doing the Instagram 30-day challenge that I posted the last video. It was like 10:30 p.m. I thought, okay, I'm just wrapping up work, which I don't usually work that late. I'm like, I haven't posted on Instagram yet today. I'm just gonna post. Again, kind of the last point we were doing. I quickly typed something out on Threads, screenshotted it, threw it on Instagram stories, downloaded, posted it. That post has like 10,000 views on that carousel. I threw up a random green screen video talking about social media because I wanted to test it. I wanted to try it. I wanted to try posting a carousel with a thread screenshot. That is entrepreneurship. It's failing fast and trying and throwing stuff. And because social media and being an influencer and being a creator is such a personal business, you are the business, it is so hard to detach your ego and your value from numbers because you also think everyone's looking at you and you're thinking, okay, but I don't want people to go to my YouTube channel and there's a video with 2 views on it. I don't want people to go to my Instagram and there's a reel that didn't get that many views. First of all, they're not at the boardroom of opinion. They are not in the boardroom. You are not posting on social media to impress your random coworker's husband or your random family member or this girl from high school who you don't even like. That's not what we're doing. That's not why you're posting. But the way you're acting and why you're posting represents someone who that is why they're posting. Your business on social media is for somebody. You're solving a problem, but you're not posting that way. You're posting as if you're trying to just get a bunch of views and externally look a certain way. You're not testing stuff because you're so worried about how stuff performs. And something that has helped me a little bit with this too is viewing your content as like, I talked about this in the vlog, but as a body of work. I know when I post a 10-20 minute video on a certain topic, I know posting it, this video will not get as many views as a video about how to grow on social media. I know that. I know that when I post a vlog, it will not probably perform as well. My why, my motivation for posting content isn't to get views. It's to help people build their vision, build their mission. Of course, there are so many strategies and ways that you can do that, which we're going to talk about in this series about like how to grow on social media. But I think sometimes we're not taking social media seriously because we're not acting as somebody who is running a business. We're acting and creating as somebody who's trying to get external validation from people that we don't even like because our value is tied so close to how stuff is performing that it's getting in the way of your business. If you are posting content that is not performing, don't keep posting it. Try stuff. If you're posting your podcast episodes on YouTube and they're not getting a lot of traction, they won't get traction. If you don't change anything, the result won't change either. There's something you can change and try, but you don't want to. So all that being said, if you want to take social media seriously, you need to start treating it like an objective business and you're trying and you're testing and you're not super tied to the numbers. Being a CEO, a founder, an entrepreneur who does social media and the social media is their business, you need to behave in the way of an entrepreneur and a founder, not in hustle culture and getting burnt out, but in the way of you look at things more objectively. You're not so emotionally tied to everything you're posting. You have a clear audience, a clear brand, a clear mission. The reason you create is for the people who subscribe and follow to your business. And that business should be something you're very passionate about, which again is I think where people get in their own way. The first point you made, if people are talking about things that they don't deeply want to talk about, so decide, influencer, content creator, what you want your thing to be, something that you feel passionate about. But once you've made the decision, you've built that out, the framework out, treat it like a business and take it seriously and view it in the way of an entrepreneur as a founder, of a CEO, of like, this is my business. This Instagram profile is my business. Every post I make is for the people who follow me, the people people who purchase from my business, who watch your content, and think about them instead of thinking about yourself all the time, and test and try and accept that not everything you're interested in will be a part of that business. That's okay. You can have other profiles for that, but step into this identity of a CEO, of a founder, of an entrepreneur. And trust me, that mental shift in everything we've talked about will change so much of how much you take social media seriously. What this really comes down to is your identity and the emotion that you have with things and what's leading you with content, and stop letting your emotion and like what you feel like doing lead it a lot of the time. Anyways, there is so much more I could talk about in this topic, and we will be, because we have 3 more videos under this series of how to take social media seriously. I have so many thoughts specifically with your content on social media, and as a creator, as a founder, as an influencer, what to stop and start doing, and like habits with social media as well. So we're going to talk about everything. I'm so excited for this series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to check out Taylor Brands. They're absolutely amazing. Use the link in the description. And thank you so much for watching episode 1. I will see you next Monday for episode number 2. Okay, bye.